Hello everybody, it's a cold and snowy day here in East Tennessee. It really feels like December today. And I wanted to share with you how I have my top-heavy orchids situated in their pots so that they don't fall over. That is a real challenge when you're growing orchids, is to keep them stable in a pot. Because if you're growing a dendrobium, they are all top-heavy. Cattleyas can get heavy on you as well, and then Phalaenopsis orchids, when they have these long, beautiful spikes, those can become unstable as well. So let me show you how I have mine set up so they remain upright. So here's my Dendrobium Burana Jade Fantasy number 9, and this one is in a 6-inch orchid pot. And I have it in an 8-inch ceramic pot. This is a very heavy ceramic pot. And so this is a pretty conventional way of setting things up. As you know, moss, when it dries out, it gets very lightweight. So I wanted to find a really nice heavy pot to put this one in. And this one keeps this plant very stable. Now here's my other Burana Jade Fantasy Dendrobium, and it grows completely differently than the other one that I just showed you. This one, the canes like to grow down on this plant. So I went out and I bought this heavy ceramic pot to put it in, and as you see, it's tilted a little bit because this cane that is spiking just continues to grow downward towards the ground. So what I did was I've got it tilted in there, and what's beneath it is plastic bubble wrap. And I placed it in there so that this one will tilt and not grow down quite so sharply. So that has worked for me as well. This has been a good setup for this plant. Now, this is non-conventional. I had to get really creative with this big, huge dendrobium that's in the corner of my sunroom. This one is growing in a 4-inch orchid pot, and what I did was I placed non-dissolvable packing peanuts in the bottom of this very heavy ceramic pot. And then I took a glass cooking lid and I have everything just kind of stabilized with that lid. It keeps the orchid pot on one side of that huge ceramic pot, and it makes everything stable. So I had to get creative with this one. And here's my huge Cattleya. And if I don't have this one in a ceramic pot, it will fall over. So I have this one in a 9-inch orchid pot, and this is about an 11-inch ceramic pot. It is huge. The bottom of this one is filled with the non-dissolvable packing peanuts, and I just fill it so that the plant doesn't sit too deeply in this pot. Another thing I was going to show you is how I have this set up, plus all of my dendrobiums are set up this way. I just watered this plant, and do you see I have this paper towel right here inside the pot? Okay, it is dripping down into this measuring cup. You can use a bucket or whatever you want. Just make sure it's right underneath that paper towel. But I don't move them when I water them, and that has also made them more stable. I found that when I was moving them constantly to water them, that was when they would fall over before I could get them back in their homes right. Okay, now let's talk about pots in pots. These two Phalaenopsis orchids that you see, the one with the huge spike on it and the one behind it, let me show you how I have these set up so that they're stable and they don't fall over. What I've done here is I've placed a 6-inch orchid pot inside an 8-inch orchid pot. You will be amazed at how much more stable that's going to make your orchids, especially when your Phalaenopsis orchids are spiking and those spikes will pull the plant forward. This is the thing to do. You can just simply either buy a large ceramic pot or you can put it inside a larger orchid pot. I like setting it up this way because the plate underneath it, I'm able to drain it without moving it here again with that paper towel method I just showed you. So that really helps me in this grow space. It saves me time and I'm not moving the plants around so much when they have these long, tall spikes. Now this is my Phal Marianne, and I have her in a pot that you can just buy at any store like Lowe's in the springtime. This is just a regular plastic pot that I drilled a lot of holes in the bottom before I put this one in this pot. And it drains very, very well, and it is stable. Just look for anything that is very stable, especially for your Phalaenopsis orchids. Something like this is fine. It doesn't have to be translucent or clear. I like the clear ones a lot because I can see what's going on with the roots and I can tell when they need to be watered. But this Phal has been in this pot for about 4 years and it's done great. I just water it whenever I water the other orchids that are in bark. And these pots have been very good and they're very stable. So that's another option for you as well. And here are some of my miniature Phalaenopsis orchids, and I put these in these ceramic orchid pots. That keeps them stable. The other thing I was going to share with you is tying back your spikes as soon as you can. This is Buddy Orchid, and 1 year I did not tie the spikes back on this orchid, and it kept pulling forward when it bloomed. The blooms were very, very heavy on the spike, and it just kept falling out of its pot. It was so heavy. So I stake them back as soon as I can, and then I place them in these heavy orchid pots, and that keeps them very stable. And I'll end this video with this pretty little view of my Dendrobium Solea Champu and my African Violet. This one is called Frozen in Time. Beautiful little African Violet. Hope you all enjoyed the video and you all be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And I'd love to say the blessing over you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you his peace. You all make it a great day.